Hello, my name is Olivier. I'm a backend engineer in the composition and analysis group, and this is a demonstration of the proposal for the update of the dependency scanning vendor template, actually the latest version of that template that we would like to ship around 17.9 when we announce the deprecation of the Gymnasium analyzer and the support for building a project in dependency scanning. So as part of that issue, I've been creating using a test project, which is a Conan project in that example, and it's supported because it has a Conan.log file here. I have created a copy of the latest template, and I have modified that project to actually use the template I've copied there using the include remote rather than include vendor template. But that's just a quick workaround to use that file that I'm currently modifying, and I will work through the changes that I've made there. So looking at the existing file, what we can see that we have a couple of existing jobs. Some of them are hidden jobs or non-directly usable job like this one for backward compatibility reason, or because people have been using this for shared configuration, so or ourselves. So this is why we have this couple of jobs like that. And then we have the real jobs called Gymnasium dependency scanning, Gymnasium Maven dependency scanning, and Gymnasium Python dependency scanning, which are extending those jobs above. So when we do the switch, we will actually no longer want to use this Gymnasium-based dependency scanning jobs and replace them with the new dependency scanning analyzer. So what we have to do is find a way to disable the old jobs and enable the new one. The thing is, this latest template is currently the only way to have support for merge request pipelines out of the box, and some customers are using this template in production. So there is a risk that some people will be very unhappy by doing a breaking change, even if it's expected because it's the latest template. It's expected to ship breaking changes on this template during the year, but that still can have undesirable user impacts. So to offer them a very quick opportunity to revert back to the previous behavior, I'm suggesting to introduce a new variable called legacy dependency scanning. And what that does, currently setting to false, is that it disables all the old dependency scanning jobs. And the way I'm doing that currently, what I'm suggesting to do is to override the script tag. And if that variable is set to false, that we are disabling the existing behavior and outputting an error message and exiting with one, so that the job will be marked as failed. Note that the job are allowed to fail by default, so the pipeline won't fail, but at least it will be visible in the pipeline view that this specific all Gymnasium-based jobs have been failing. And again, if a customer is really impacted by that change and they want to revert back quickly, but still keep the benefit of the latest template, like the merge request pipeline support, they can do so by just setting the legacy dependency scanning variable to true. And this can be set at the project, group, or even instance level if necessary. So let's say a self-managed customer is going through that painful change, they can just set the variable at the instance level and they immediately revert all their project back to the historical behavior. So this will be applied to all the old Gymnasium-based job, and then I introduced the new dependency scanning job. So in that case, I have two of them because I had two different proposals for the new job. But in the end, we will just end up with one using the new dependency scanning analyzer. So the two proposals I've made here are one is more backward compatible one, and this job is actually extending the same historical configuration job that we have here. And this is useful if, for instance, a customer has used those old jobs for configuring their jobs, because this new job will inherit those configurations. I still think that's a niche usage because the variables, for instance, or the variables customization that have been set in those hidden jobs have to be still relevant for the new dependency scanning analyzer first. And they have to be added to one of the init jobs. Like if, for instance, someone has overridden the final job, like the gymnasium Python one, for instance, anything that has been done here won't be applied here because we're not iterating for the final jobs. So again, that's really meaning the usefulness, I would say, as that approach, and also it ties the new dependency scanning job to the old configuration. So that's a bit more prone to bugs, in my opinion. So the other suggestion, which is my preferred one, is a new standalone job that is totally decoupled from the rest of the configuration above, which redeclare all the necessary properties like the stage, the artifacts. Note that it only declared the ASBOM artifact because we no longer generate the security reports, the dependency scanning security report artifacts. It is allowed to fail. The script is pretty similar to the old one because we use kind of the same command. And then the image is now different because it's pointing to the new project and the new image. There is just one extent here. That's just for the sake of this test here because I already declared some rules specifically for these new jobs and it's shared between those two. But in the end state, maybe the rules will just be included directly in the job. So the reason I have to redefine the rules is because I've, as I said, introduced this new legacy dependency scanning variable. So what I want is when someone is setting that variable to true, I want to re-enable the old jobs, but I also want to disable the new job. So that's why it's part of this declaration here. Additionally, I haven't done that here, but that's something we want to also adjust is the rules exist that we use for triggering the job has to be updated because while we support basically the same files for the existing coverage, the new dependency scanning analyzer is also supporting new files. So for instance, you can see here that there is a bunch of new type of files that are supported. But the gotcha is not all those files are actually present in the repository. So what that means is, for instance, let's take the Maven example. So from Maven, currently the POM XML is the file that triggers the job, but it's no longer an input document that is acceptable for the new dependency scanning analyzer. Instead, we're asking customers to run the Maven dependency tree command and output a dependency graph file like the maven.graph.json. And that's the one that the new analyzer will use as an input. Unfortunately, these steps might happen into the build job of the customer and not necessarily have that file committed into the repository. And what this means is if we just had maven graph.json into this rule, it won't work because the file doesn't exist in the repository. Instead, it's generating the build job, it's exported as an artifact. So we have to decide how we want to approach that. For instance, we could keep the POM XML here and have the analyzer checking if the maven graph.json file is available at the execution time. And if it's not, outputting an error message. So that's still the kind of thing that we have to discuss and make a decision on. So that's pretty much it for the proposal. If you have feedback, please react to that issue, and then we'll make a decision about how we want to go with that migration path. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.